What's good, y'all? What's good? Uh, a couple of days ago, before this Canelo Alvarez PBC drama thing, Gervonta Tank Davis is a rumored to be fighting Frank Martin, and the fight is agreed on. And if that is true, you got to give Tank credit, man, because I think that this is a good step up in the skill department. I think Frank is more skilled than Ryan Garcia, more technical ability. The athleticism is kind of on par, but I think that Frank is a better fighter than Ryan Garcia, especially with the rehydration and the catch weight stuff. Like Frank Martin is in a better condition. And this fight, you can't really shit on Tank, because Haney and Shakur fights, of course, would not be happening right now. Shakur Stevenson in his last fight in his top rank contract, he don't know. He might be at bad terms with them. He still owe them a fight. Haney's locked in with Ryan Garcia. So this is one of the easiest fights for Tank to make. And this is a real credible fight right here. Frank Martin, he's a southpaw, athletic. He can match Tank with a couple of things. I still think Tank is the better fighter or whatever overall, but Frank Martin, he can compete. Frank Martin is good at taking away jabs. Uh, Frank Martin, he has good punch placement, and just real educated pressure. Just a little puzzle Tank will have to figure out, especially if he wants to knock out. But of course, I had to favor Gervonta Davis in the fight. Both of these guys are in the WBA and they both on PBC, so it was easy to make. The fight gonna be on Amazon Prime, and I don't know where the fight's gonna be at though. But I think that this fight will draw a couple dollars for Tank. He ain't gonna make as much as the Ryan Garcia fight, but he gonna bring in some dollars because Frank Martin, he's been building his name up. He's done a couple main events, and he's linked to Earl Spence. He signed to Earl Spence. So a lot of Earl Spence fans will travel to Frank Martin to support him for this fight. And Tank, he sells out pretty much everywhere he goes. But, this ain't the best fight, but it ain't the worst fight either. The only thing people can say about Frank Martin is that he ain't Haney or Shakur, and he struggled in his last fight. A lot of people felt like Artem edged out Frank, even though Frank came on strong in the 12th round. I think he broke his retinal bone in his eyeball and dropped him, made him take a knee in the 12th round. So he's strong and he's got power for all 12 rounds. So that's another good thing Frank has going for him. But of course, Tank is the favorite in the fight. But Tank might have to work on this one. We say that Tank don't fight the brothers, but here he goes. Here goes one. And I gotta give him his respect for it. Because outside of Haney and Shakur, I think this will be one of the more competitive fighters in the division. I don't really want to see no Pitbull rematch. No, nothing like that. I mean, Williams Zepeda, maybe that's a good fight. But 135, it ain't the deepest division in boxing right now. After Haney left, you still got Shakur, Raymond Muratalla. The rest of the smoke at 135, they still got like 15 fights and under. They're not even in real contention yet. But Tank, he probably will be around 135 that long for them when them guys climb up the ranks anyway. Because I don't think Tank can move up too much farther than 135. But we'll see as news come out for the dates and everything. But it looked like this fight is going down. But Calvin Ford, he has some negative stuff to say. I forgot what podcast he was on, talking about the fight not happening and stuff. That's about the only thing that really points to the fight not happening. But everybody reported on this, saying that they agreed and this is what's next. And I seen the article this morning talking about his coaches, Kenny Ellis and Calvin Ford, is studying Frank Martin's skull density, the bones in his face, to see how much punishment he can take from them Gervonta Davis straight left hands and uppercuts. You know, but we'll see as the fight gets closer how these guys look. Training camp and all that. They say that Tank's getting ready to start training camp. So this thing look like it's a done deal. So props to Tank for taking this fight. I don't really see much to complain about. I tell you what it is on Tank Davis and his opponents or whatever, but this time I think Tank has a good fight on his hands, a good contender. It's for the WBA belt that Tank been elevated to after Devin Haney vacated the belts and left the division. So let's see if Frank got what it takes to handle the Tank.